Let's kick things off with a moment that David Letterman fans will never forget. Back in 1994, he had none other than Madonna herself on The Late Show. Now, Madonna was no stranger to controversy.
You're always fucking with me on the show.
But that night, she seemed determined to make Letterman break. She comes on, sits down, and starts throwing around, let's call it colorful language. By the end, Letterman is visibly sweating, trying to keep things together as Madonna just bulldozes over every family-friendly rule he had. The FCC probably aged 10 years that night.
Yeah, guess why?
Is it because I've been saying fuck?
And let's be honest, Letterman wasn't just laughing at Madonna's words, he was laughing at the sheer audacity. She somehow turned the interview into a roast, with Dave as her favorite target. By the end, even the audience was just laughing at how uncomfortable he looked. Lesson here? Never invite Madonna to a live broadcast unless you're ready to hold on for dear life. Here is one of the most awkwardly funny attempts at flirting ever to hit a talk show. Stephen Merchant, known for his quirky, deadpan humor, sitting across from Nicole Scherzinger. She's there with 3 other ladies, looking glam, relaxed, and probably not expecting any of what's about to go down.
Ladies, if you react just as if Stephen has come up to you in a party or a bar, and this is the opening salvo, and let us know how...
The host turns to the ladies and casually asks, "So, what would you all do if Stephen here walked up to you at a bar?" Stephen takes this as his cue to shoot his shot. He leans over
for Stephen.
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, looking good. Saw you on the X Factor, Nicole.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Jesus, that was enthusiastic.
to Nicole and goes, "You're looking good. I saw you on the X Factor." Nicole, with a perfectly nonchalant expression, just goes, "Oh, that's cool." And then, Stephen immediately jumps in with the best comeback ever. Well, that was an enthusiastic response.
You know that this is... I'm not actually hitting on you. This is the first one. Nicole, here I am. What are your other 2 wishes?
The entire audience is in stitches. Nicole's laughing her ass off, and Stephen, with his trademark dry wit, adds, "I wasn't even hitting on you." Nicole, now fully amused, fires back, "Excuse me, who are you?" Stephen, without missing a beat, glances over at one of the other women and says, "Forget you. I'll talk to your more beautiful friend in the middle." It's awkward, hilarious, and a masterclass in British humor gone wrong, and yet so right. Now, speaking of moments that were never supposed to happen, let's talk about Harrison Ford. The legendary, iconic Harrison Ford, known for his cool swagger and serious roles. He's sitting next to Ryan Gosling and...
Ryan?
It's Ryan.
Came to play and
Well, he forgets Ryan's name. Yup, Harrison Ford, in front of the cameras and a live audience, starts talking about Brian Gosling. Poor Ryan is sitting right there.
This is a great part for Ryan Gosling.
And all he can do is laugh and shake his head. Harrison, unfazed, just keeps going, calling him Brian like it's the most normal thing in the world.
It's called Sexy Singer.
Oh, it's ideal.
Find an unattractive male and serenade him.
On the other side of the comedy spectrum, let's talk about an incredibly awkward and downright hilarious moment with Elizabeth Banks, Kylie Minogue, and the one and only Ricky Gervais. It all starts when Elizabeth Banks decides to spice things up and dares Kylie Minogue to serenade the least attractive man in the studio. Now,
The camera just cut to Ricky Gervais.
everyone is looking around, wondering who's going to be the lucky target. But before anyone can say a word, Kylie begs Ricky
Play the role for me.
Go on then, I'll try and make myself look at
Try to make yourself.
Gervais to act as her ugly man. Ha ha ha. And as you would expect, he goes above and beyond to make himself look as unattractive as humanly possible. And by that, we mean seriously unattractive. Ricky starts contorting his face in every ridiculous way you can imagine, puffing his cheeks, tucking his head in, and raising his shoulders. He's giving it his all, turning himself into a sitting, breathing caricature of ugly. He even starts making weird noises for effect, like he's some sort of comical creature straight out of a cartoon. The audience is absolutely howling howling watching Ricky take self-deprecating humor to a whole new level. Kylie, on the other hand, is doing her best to keep it together, but even she's struggling. She tries to stay focused, takes a deep breath, and begins her serenade. But every time she looks at Ricky's absurd, ugly face, she loses it and has to start over. It's one of those moments where the harder she tries to be serious, the funnier it gets. Meanwhile, Ricky keeps upping the ante, throwing in even more over-the-top expressions and noises. Even Elizabeth Banks, the one who started the whole thing, is doubled over, laughing so hard she's clutching her sides.
Kind of fair to say that is an aspect of show business.
Oh my God, look at you, Dave.
Yes, beefcake.
Yeah, it was.
Beefy.
Next up, Tiffany Haddish, absolutely relentless in her flirtation with Dave Bautista. Just to make things more interesting from the beginning, they put a picture of Bautista in his wrestling gear up on the screen, and Tiffany calls him a straight-up beefcake. So Dave's casually talking about his journey from amateur wrestling to the pro leagues, all the way to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Tiffany, always quick on her feet, cuts in with, "Well, I know a little jiu-jitsu from movies." Then another guest chimes in, "Why don't we all do jiu-jitsu together?" The host, probably sensing the direction this is going, asks, is this a sex thing? Without missing a beat, Tiffany says, "It could be." Then she turns to him and, completely unfazed, goes, "You look amazing." And that's when Kevin Hart, who's been trying to hold it together, finally loses it and yells, "I don't want to be involved." It's classic Tiffany, fearless, funny, and completely unfiltered.
2:30 in the morning. This little is in my sleeping bag.
Now, if you're a fan of food shows and total chaos, you'll love this one. Gordon Ramsay and Chef Gino D'Acampo have this hilarious friendship where they basically spend half their time roasting each other.
She's like,
So, on this particular episode, Ramsay spills the beans. Apparently, while they were filming a travel show,
He's spooning me.
Gino snuck into Gordon's sleeping bag at 2 a.m. Gino, without any shame, says he heard weird noises and thought he'd be safer with Gordon. Totally normal, right? Gordon, trying to hold back his laughter, says, "Yeah, well, he was naked when he got in my sleeping bag." And Gino, with zero hesitation, goes, "Does that matter?" Gordon, cracking up, goes,
Hold on. You were naked. Scared?
that does it matter?
Yes, it does.
"Yes, it does matter." Then, just to make things more absurd, Gino claps back later in the interview, joking that Gordon has his own inappropriate ways of waking people up.
Yes.
Ramsay tries to deny it, but eventually fesses up, and the whole audience is practically crying with laughter. Now, Jimmy Fallon is known for breaking character. He laughs so much on his own show that it's almost a sport. But nothing compares to when Will Ferrell showed up in a full Little Debbie costume, complete with pigtails and a polka dot dress.
You mean this dress?
Yeah, part of it. Partly, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to wear it. I'm the new face of Little Debbie's snack cake.
Will walks out, deadpan, acting like he's just another guest. And Jimmy? Well, Jimmy completely loses it. He's barely holding it together, and Will Ferrell just stands there, stone-faced, totally committed to the bit.
I got a mouse to feed. This is my mouth.
It's peak absurdity and perfectly Ferrell. Ferrell starts talking about being the new face of Little Debbie like he's discussing the stock market, totally straight-faced, which makes it even funnier. And the audience, realizing Jimmy is seconds away from falling out of his chair, just loses it along with him. And that's the genius of Will Ferrell. His humor is all about taking the ridiculous and delivering it with Oscar-level seriousness. Speaking of actors who know how to deliver, let's visit the UK for a bit. Graham Norton's show is like a recipe for chaos.
Time machine. It's kind of cool and it's kind of woody and it's kind of awesome.
It's basically a relaxed dinner party with celebrities who had just one too many drinks. And when Tom Hiddleston is on, the laughter is pretty much guaranteed. Tom, known for playing Loki in the Marvel Universe, has a secret talent for impressions, and on this episode, he goes all out. He starts doing an impression of Graham Norton himself, which catches the audience, and Graham, totally off guard. But it doesn't stop there. He then moves on to Robert De Niro, who's also sitting on the couch.
I know whole pages of Heat.
You surprised me.
De Niro, who is famously not a man of many words, just sits there with this expression that's somewhere between, "Are you serious?" and "I'm slightly impressed." It's pure magic. The audience is roaring. Graham is grinning ear to ear. And Tom? He's got this mischievous look that says he knows exactly what he's doing. By the end, De Niro even cracks a smile, which, let's face it, is like winning an Oscar for most surprising reaction. Adele is known for her powerhouse voice, but what most people don't realize is that she's also hilarious. And Ellen DeGeneres, the queen of hidden camera pranks, decided to make the most of it. She sends Adele into a Jamba Juice with an earpiece and proceeds to tell her what to do and say. Imagine a global superstar acting like she's never been in a smoothie shop before, demanding ridiculous things like,
"Okay, I'll take a large, but in a small cup."
I'll take a large. Okay. We can have it in a small cup.
Large and small.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
a large in a small. The employees are so confused, and Adele is doing everything she can not to laugh while saying things like, "I don't have money, I'm a singer." What's priceless here is that Adele is fully committed. She plays along, straight-faced, even asking if she can cut some weed grass. The Jamba Juice staff look like they're witnessing some sort of fever dream, and Ellen is backstage, practically crying from laughing. It's the kind of cringe comedy that only works when the person completely owns it, and Adele nailed it. So, there you have it. These are the moments that turned regular interviews into instant comedy classics. Whether it's the host-breaking character, celebrities doing outrageous impressions, or just pure absurdity, talk shows have given us some of the best unscripted laughs of all time. And let's be real, sometimes the funniest moments aren't planned at all. It's the pure, unexpected chaos that reminds us why we love live TV. Did you enjoy this video? Click the notification bell for more entertainment. Share with your friends and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.